Is it sun bright or out on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I know it's been quite a while since I've read on K-pop, and honestly, I kind of gave it a break last week because I would have talked about anything in K-pop last week, but it just wasn't looking good. The more I looked for more news, the more I felt like I was going down a rabbit hole. So I talked it over with Lady Crone, and Lady Crone was like, "Well, why don't you talk about everything that's just going on K-pop? Just do a K-pop news recap." And I was like, "You're right." So what I got for you guys today is what the helly, because I don't know what's going on over there in Korea. I really don't. Everybody seems like they are getting it handed to them. Nobody can catch a break in this K-pop industry. So, who am I going to start off with first? Well, I'm going to start off with New Jeans or NJZ or their new name that they now have, which is MHDHH. I don't know, but apparently, for sad news for NJZ is the fact that they can no longer do activities under any name. They're not allowed to do any solo activities, and they owe apparently $933,000 to to Adore for all their solo activities that they made. That's what is that how much they racked up in solo activities, or is that with interest? Like, I'm trying to figure out where did this number come from, because that's nearly $1 million. I mean, if that's the case, listen, I know HYBE, not HYBE, but Adore. I'm going to get to you, HYBE. I know Adore took a major hits in their funds and in their pockets when New Jeans had took this lawsuit out against them. So I guess that's them trying to get their lick back and more and then some. So, or it could just honestly, because I can't seem to get Hype's name out my mouth, it could just be the fact that Adore's tied to Hype, and we know Hype is in some hot waters now. So, any way they can squeeze out some extra money, they will. And anything that they could do to expedite any of these cases against them, so that way they can get out of the public's eye legally, they'll do that too. That's just my opinion. However, moving on to that, I honestly feel bad for New Jeans. They just can't seem to win. And I know when I first originally did their readings, I was saying that they was going to be HYBE or like Adore's Nightmare. I mean, I still stand by that, because it seems like since they have taken legal action against Adore, the whole franchise is just coming down with it's mind-boggling but impressive at the same time. I'm just like, some legal investigation to dig into this one company led into some other things found out about this other company. And I'm just like, I don't know what y'all doing over there in HYBE. But this is also the same. I'm just going to say, this is also the same company that Scooter Braun's attached himself to. And we knew what havoc he wreaked over here in America. So, of course, he would scootaloo to his way to K-pop, where he can take advantage of more people and actually get away with it, like we see New Jeans is going through. However, I'm surprised. I'm literally surprised that Illit and Ellis Firm is still getting some hate. That's actually really shocking, because I listen in the very beginning. I truly did give. Well, I was never a fan of Illit, but I was a fan of Ellis Firm with like Hot and Fun, whatever album that was. That was a pretty decent album, but like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And Jay-Z kind of left like a sour taste in my mouth, so I kind of distanced myself from Ellis Firm a little bit. But they still keep coming out with bangers, and I'm just like, okay, I I was innocently punishing them. Well, it wasn't innocently. I was punishing them for my justice for New Jeans, where I stood 10 toes down. Not saying that I still don't still, but also I have to realize that Ellis Frim is honestly just a bystander, and because they're all a part of the same company, it is what it is, honestly. Sadly, that's just the K-pop industry. We really need to make a change about that, and that's exactly why I stand 10 toes down for New Jeans, because we need to make a change, and we need to also, as K-pop fans and stans, we have to stop hating other groups for our like faves and our stans, like put one group down to upraise another one, because everybody is here for equal opportunity and trying to get famous. But as many people I will talk about in this list today, there are apparently justifiable reasons why everybody is getting canceled in Korea. So everybody's getting canceled. So cancel NJZ too, Ellis Frim and Illit too while you're at it. Why not? So speaking of HYBE, hey HYBE, how's it going? Because please explain to me why you guys, how much are you being okay, so here's what happened with HYBE. If you're not familiar, HYBE, the same company that houses Adore, but also the same company that used to be Big Hit Entertainment, and they apparently have an American branch, which I think that's the same American branch Cat's Eye is a part of. Please check me if I'm wrong on that. So HYBE literally is like the claw machine of K-pop right now. I see why they took stock in SM, because in my opinion the big three has always been SM, JYP, and then YG in that particular order. Some people might say SM, YG, JYP, but given my little disdain I have for YG, I feel like all the other companies are far better with promoting their artists. However, JYP is known for overworking his artists. So, you take some, you lose some with these K-pop companies, honestly. But I will say every time, all three groups, all three companies, no matter who their groups are that they put out, I enjoy their music. I like YG style. I definitely love SM style. SM's got me into K-pop. You remember in NCT all the way. But I also like me some JYP. I like the personality of the JYP. You know what, JYP gets the most talented all-rounders. I don't know where Mr. JYP himself finds these talents, but they're talents that either SM shuts down, YG shuts down. So JYP sees the stardom in what other companies don't see. So I got my goods and my bads to say. But here is HYBE, the company of BTS, which I will also be getting to later in this episode. I know everything's intertwined and connected. But because of that, HYBE sees the potential in SM, and their CEO, or it was an employee, I don't know. HYBE has apparently many cases against them. But pause. So somebody who was staffed at YG before YG, before HYBE before HYBE had bought stocks in YG, in SM. I'll get to you, YG. So when an employee from HYBE had bought stocks in SM, it was technically considered a stock instel, like a stock insider intel. Listen, legal terms. I'm learning a whole lot of things this summer with all these legal cases. You can get yourself tied up in a lot of ways. And this employee or CEO has gotten himself real tied up, because apparently it's a crime to buy ahead. Like if you're a part of this company and your company's getting ready to invest stock in this, then you as that person is going to jump ahead of your company, basically, I guess, be a mole, be a rat, take that intel, take that information for yourself and profit off of it. So is it like racketeering? Like, is yeah, so it's something along those lines of where you're basically doing fraudulent things. And so, I mean, Hybe did buy their portion. However, this didn't look too good because whoever that employee was that had bought their stock in SM, they had sold it for 177 million and gave it to this company called Tencent. So now Tencent, instead of it being this stockholder or Hybe, it is now Tencent that is the second largest stockholder in Hybe. And actually, did you guys know? I'm sure you guys knew, but I didn't know. I think BTS is like the third or fifth biggest or largest stockholder in Hybe. So I found that really quite interesting. They're not even their top money makers. Well, I mean, if they're your top money makers, how can they outbuy your company? But yeah, I honestly just thought BTS would have put a little bit more stock into that than they did. But hey, they did what they did. They did what they could. But yeah, not only has that happened, Hype has been raided. God, the second I heard that, I got PTSD back to Diddy and his mansion's getting raided. So the headquarters of Hype got raided. Ugh. Documents was found, but apparently this employee or CEO is definitely willing to cooperate and is willing to help with the investigation. I'm not sure if you're trying to lessen your sentence, if you're just trying to honestly go with it was an honest mistake, I didn't realize this was a crime. Like, it's not often you see people that commit a crime be fully cooperative and it's not against their will. So I found that interesting. That is quite curious. I will definitely be keeping my eyes close on Hybe now, even more than ever, because Jesus, yikes. That's all I got for them. However, some good news to come out of the company. BTS is supposed to reunite. I was getting a little too quiet. We had all this hype about Blackpink. I was like, where's BTS? I'm just like, I feel like BTS is like dropped off. And then suddenly when it felt like they dropped off, they reappeared back in the scenes and said, hey, we're having like a fan meeting. We're going to get together with you guys like in June of 2025. Like, I know you armies are very excited. I'm very excited for you guys because I was starting to miss BTS a little bit with all this talk about Blackpink. I was just like, man, when Blackpink was up and popping, so was BTS. And when Blackpink started to fall off, so did BTS. So I'm like, now that Blackpink is coming back alive, when is BTS coming back alive? So it seems like Blackpink and BTS seem to have the same trajectory or career transitions that they're going through, which is also quite interesting. However, I'm really excited for BTS on that one. So congratulations. This is going to be their first time that they've been together since 2022. That's 3 years. That's really impressive. That's amazing. Congratulations to the BTS and Army. And that's something good that can go into Hybe's pocket. So I guess congratulations to Hybe too. Now, all this talk about Hybe, let's talk about the competitors. Why don't we? Karina from aespa. That's all I got because I have no words for this because I, you know, it's amazing that this is a thing, but also I can't be mad that it's a thing. But also at the same time, I feel like it could have been an accident. But then when I hear the coincidences, I'm just like, I don't, that's too synchronous for it to not be a coincidence. So if you are unaware, Karina had posted on her private Instagram So first off, whoever was on her private Instagram, shame on you for leaking that, because she shared that in her own privacy in her own home, a home, quote unquote. And yet, I mean, I get what you share on the internet um can be posted, but also there has to be like you got to set a boundary. A private account is basically setting a boundary between your life and like what you want people to see outside your life. So that's a gray area right then and there, because if this was posted in her own privacy of what she thought was going to be shared amongst people, then that wasn't going to get out to the public, then I could understand she was trying to like subtly show her support, because apparently Karina was wearing black and red and the number 2, and then captioned it with a rose, which all leads to a specific party in Korea. And apparently it's election season in South Korea. So for her to take this political stance, and we know many times idols are not even allowed to be talking about their political stances for their country or for Korea, period. I know Sana from Twice and other members have gotten in trouble for just speaking out against injustices from their home country. And people are just like, why are you taking a political stance? So I get it. I completely get it. And I also learned that apparently idols are truly influential. And I mean, I get it. We do that here in America too, but apparently in South Korea, they truly take product placements and endorsements super serious. So it's like, if you really, now I see why they like censor them, and like why you're not allowed to like sponsor something that you're not paid to sponsor, because if you show off any other brand, people are going to flock to it, but you aren't going to see the money for it because you didn't have a brand deal for that. So you just gave that brand free promotion. Just like apparently Karina gave this political party free promotion. And it got even more crazier when that political party's Instagram or like TikTok reposted Espa's content. I'm sorry. No, it's funny to think that and that's what made people feel even more like this was not a coincidence. Karina knew exactly what she was doing, but like Karina's like also like in her 20s, so like come on people, she's allowed to have a political opinion. I know we're not supposed to be expressing political opinions out here in this day and age, but like I said, it was her private Instagram that should have stayed private. And whoever literally backstabbed Karina on that one is shame on you. Because I get it. You probably was like shocked. Was like, Karina? I know that's probably how you felt, and you just had to go and post it. But you had private access to like her intimate space, and you literally violated Karina with that one. That's my 2 cents on that one. Regardless of how she's getting the backlash and how she has to be careful with her influence. Yes, I get all that, but I digress. Moving on from SM, now talking still on the big 3. Let's talk about YG. We talked about BTS. Now we have to talk about YG. Now, I don't know what the hell going over here over in YG, but YG is just as messy as HYBE right now. Not that they're all tied up in legal allegations, but they're just tied up in group management, and it's YG. Are we surprised? No, we're not. But I'm kind of really upset with YG because they're promoting this new girl group called YG's Next Monster, and I feel like that's a huge slap in the face to Baby Monster that they just debuted. And shortly after Baby Monster debuted, I get it, Black Label is the sub label of YG, but still it's all YG. They all under the same management, they all have the same boss. So Meow has debuted, and it's just like, YG, what are you doing? And here you are talking about Blackpink, saying, yeah, Blackpink's going on tour. They're going to debut their album on tour. And I'm just like, I mean, I told you guys this. I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to promote? I'm like, is this tour going to be something like they're going to debut their album on tour. And if you get the tickets, you get to see the album first. And then maybe like once they finish doing the rollout, you finally get the album promotions. Like I saw a money grab in that one. That's a nice incentive to get people to want to go on this Deadline tour. But then there's a whole backlash on the fact that it's called the Deadline tour anyway. So people are questioning the future of Blackpink, and they have all the more to question because of YG's next monster girl group, because people are starting to feel like this could be like the replacement for Blackpink, or a more managed, well improved version of Baby Monster. Like Baby Monster was the prototype, and now next monster is going to be like the official branded upgraded version. Like I don't know what YG is doing, and I don't know what YG was thinking, but naming no, that was just a no on your part right there, YG. I don't know why you've gone animalistic. Like we have monster, we have meow. I mean, what's the next thing we're gonna have? Tiger, bear? Like, please explain to me where we're going in your creative thinking, YG. I'm starting to lose a little hope in you. And what is going on with your management of your groups? And I'm surprised you are still considered a part of the big three. I don't know how you're still living it up in there, but I know once Blackpink is gone, that's why you guys are truly fishing and floundering around for another group to make you successful. Because once Blackpink goes bye-bye, so is your big three title. I don't know how you're going to keep it up, because YG is Blackpink. Honestly, in my opinion, there's no YG without Blackpink. So, yeah, you keep your prized possession in the dungeon and you don't treat them right. Okay, I digress. You know how I feel. However, this is a good transition with YG. And speaking of the big three groups, we're back to this in politics again. Speaking of Karina, let's talk about how the fact that a lot of K-pop companies are opening up sub-labels in China. Like, I know this isn't a new thing, but please tell me, you guys do know that there is a huge rift and beef between South Korea and China. So much so that I don't even know how K-pop has even allowed Chinese idols to even get into the industry. That's how sensitive it is, because when you're like a Chinese artist in the K-pop industry, you got to be Korea down. You got to support Korea down. Forget China. Don't support China. Don't talk about China. You can speak Chinese when you need to speak Chinese, but other than that, you are Korean because you trained under the Korean system, and you're going to learn Korean, and you're going to act and believe you Korean. So they like make you strip your identity if you're like Chinese, and you definitely get the worst treatment out of all of your companies. SM, I'm looking at you because you have a terrible history of treating your Chinese members. However, I believe you was one of the first people to put out a sub-label in China, and now JYP has followed, SM has followed, I think HYBE has followed. Everybody's opening up a place in China. And since the whole, speaking of political things, I'm not going to get too political over here with everything made in China, but no, for real, I don't know what's going on with these whole tariffs, but it seems like since the American government, I guess indirectly, has decided to start a war, an economic war with China. China's collecting partners now. They have gone to their old faithful enemy, South Korea, and was like, come on, let's do it up. We friends again. I'm sorry. This is the time. Now's the time that South Korea and China is making alliances with each other. If I hear North Korea makes an alliance with somebody, I'm going to be truly terrified, because yes, like I said, what the hell is going over here in Asia? Like, for real. So honestly. So I think I've gotten all the political stuff out of the way. Now let's talk about some, I wish I could say talk about some better things. We still have more bad things to talk about, honestly, like for the fact of, speaking of cancellation, Irene and Sluggy. I love this new album that they come out with. I love their duo. I'm glad to see their duo is back at it again. I'm not sure if Irene and Sluggy has put out anything since Monster, but that, like, when I first saw that, I was like, yes. I'm like, this duo can go places. And they did it again with Tilt. And I'm going to be honest, I think they kind of did it again with this album. Actually, the album Monster came off of, the B-side tracks was just as amazing too. I guess Irene and Sluggy, when they come together, they just have a very amazing, beautiful aesthetic that they just, especially when they dance together. Oh, whoever choreographs their dancing, chef's kiss. Hats off to you, because you make those girls look beautiful. You make their choreography look beautiful. It's almost like a mixture of Vogue mixed with like contemporary, because they're making pictures out of their oh God, seriously. See, this is why I love SM. SM, hands down, always has the best choreography and the best music. I love SM music. So whatever comes out the SM factory, you can bet 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna enjoy it. So because of that, like, as all that to say, what's the problem? Featuring Julie from Kiss of Life, it kind of hit. I'm not going to lie. It was good. I can't hate it. I can't hate it just because Julie's in it, because Kiss of Life is currently being canceled. Like, I can't. It was a good song. It's actually a good song. Julie fit the vibe. Julie understood the assignment. She came with the exact vibe. I wasn't sure, because Irene and Solgi, they was just giving such beautifulness. And then like Julie came in with like some like hip hop. I know, ironically to say, given her what her controversy is, but she like gave like hip hop, and I didn't think that was gonna fit Irene and Solgi's vibe, but she made it work. She made it work, honestly, and for that, I can't be mad. I can't be mad at it just because we want to be mad at Kiss at Life. But speaking of Kiss of Life, Julie has made now what, a third apology for her birthday video, and other members has made other birthday live streams as well, but they weren't anything related to rap, and fans were gleaming with joy. They were excited. They're just like, thank you. They learned from Julie. But yeah, you guys really cancel Kiss of Life. That's all I can really say. Y'all did that. Y'all really canceled Kiss of Life. They've gotten dropped from a festival, and that's why people are speculating why they've had to come out with a third statement and say, please don't unstan us. So they're really feeling the heat. And also they're getting ready to have a comeback too. So I think that's a whole nother reason why they're saying to not unstan us. Because if they do this comeback, I sure as helly know you guys are not going to support that album. You guys are already trashing Kiss of Life before they come out with another album. So I know you guys are going to eat it down and not let them live it down about Julie. And every time you see Julie, you guys are just going to be disrespectful. So of course you're going to cancel Kiss of Life in their next comeback. And Kiss of Life sees it, and they're feeling, their pockets are starting to feel it, and they're apologizing. Fans, I have gotten so far removed from this whole Julie situation. I just hear what the fans have to say. And honestly, I'm not hearing a very supportive side of the group for Julie. It's all hate on Julie. But the thing is, Kiss of Life is getting all this hate, but there is a loud crowd that is saying y'all can cancel Kiss of Life, but any of your other favorite idols, you don't want to cancel them when they do the exact same thing, the double standards. So let's just say Kiss of Life has apparently everybody taking accountability. I just gotta say, K-pop idols, be careful for the next year because netizens will be on your behind, like white on rice, kind of pun intended. So watch yourselves. Don't disrespect any culture, and that includes Indians and stuff like that. Just don't, because you're gonna find yourself right in the dumpster you've apparently created for yourself. So fans are not gonna let you live it down. And the way I see it is that Kiss of Life kissed their life goodbye. They really did. So moving on. Speaking of people you guys surely didn't want to cancel, that was Lisa. That was supposed to be a joke because I know Lisa has some huge backlash against her, but I'm glad to hear that Lisa is coming out with a Sony directed documentary about herself. I would definitely watch that. I would 100% watch that to see the Lisa I forget how to pronounce her last name, but it starts with an M. To see a Lisa documentary on my TV screen, I would definitely watch that. I would so enjoy watching to see the behind the scenes of the Lisa that we see as the true performer that she is, because some of us, me included, we have put Lisa on a pedestal and we see Lisa as this one way. So to be able to see Lisa behind this persona, behind this alter ego, I'm really excited to see. I'm really glad to. I can't wait to learn who the true real Lisa is, and not the little snippets that we get to see in interviews. So with that being said, congratulations to Lisa on that one. Oh yes. This isn't quite a cancellation. This is actually quite funny, but G-Idol, or Idol as they have now rebranded themselves. Last time I talked about Blackpink, actually, I did talk about them briefly with their new rebrand. It's a good thing. And it's apparently not a good thing because people are eating them up for synchronization, specifically with their domino effect. Now, I think that could go for two reasons. One, it could just be simply for the fact that this new generation is not familiar with domino effects, and it's really the old generation, like second and third gen. It's really like fourth and third gen that does domino effects. Really third gen, second gen kind of falling off, but fourth gen is kind of like that weird mixed hybrid between third and fifth gen, but fifth gen is definitely not doing it, but some fourth gen does it. They still want to have that third gen vibe. All those generations talking about, if you were any of those generations, you're going to know exactly how the domino effect plays, or like they call the butterfly effect. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It looks most perfect when you're in synchronization. And specifically with this one, there are two reasons why this domino effect could go wrong. One, there's three reasons why this domino effect could go wrong. One, it's a domino effect, but it's a domino effect layered. Like first, it's the first two members, and then the inner members, and then the member in the middle. So it's like a domino on a domino to like draw your attention towards the center. It's like by the time you look at everyone in the full effect, you're at the center, and that's exactly where they want you to be. But part two for why this is thrown off is because if it was much more linear, it could be much more timed and much more easier to be synchronized. Because it's not linear and it's like here, 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 here. It's like you got to really be on cue. And if you're not on cue, and because it's two people doing it at once, that's synchronized on top of synchronized. So it's not like one member does this and then the next member does that. No, it's like two members that's got to do this. And it's like, you each have your styles, so you got to match your styles to the person that you're doing a domino effect with while doing the domino effect. So you got to sync on sync on sync to make the image look good. But the third reason why I think this domino effect is going wrong is because somehow it's been coined the Mion dance, and everybody is looking at Mion and comparing everybody else to Mion. And sometimes I have looked at her, sometimes she rushes, sometimes she lags behind. So That's just not on her. Other members look like they're like slightly rushing, like they're just like they're not really trying to like look crisp while doing it. It's kind of like a rush kind of thing, and that even helps, especially if you're trying to like. And I get it; it's easier to do it when you're in a mirror, and I think that's why sometimes Neon looks like, especially when they're doing dance practices, why she looked like she cannot be rushing as much, because you could be like looking at how everybody else is doing and she follows along. But when you're on the stage, you don't have that mirror to see if everybody's aligned and if you're moving too fast or too slow. So you're just going to have to go with the flow. So all that to be said, there's many mixtures and postures and what's in that's for why this domino effect is being highly criticized by the fans. And for that, all of those reasons, I say give them a break. For real. They have been around for 7 to 8 years. They've earned their place, they've earned their rights. Just because their domino effect is a little bit sloppy, they get it right some days. And that's what matters. We know they practice day in and day out for this. And for that to still be unsynchronized, I get it. But also at the same time, just give them some slack. They're humans. They're getting older. Honestly, it's a good thing. It's like a good vibe. They're all having their fun. Like, come on. Like, why are we killing their fun? This is supposed to be a good summer vibe. So, with all that, I digress about Idol. And that brings me sadly to the last group that I have been putting off to talk about for the longest, and that's Fantasy Boys. Fantasy Boys, apparently, how do I say this? They've kind of been MIA for the last month. And a month ago, yes, that's how late I am. A month ago, their members was making like SOS symbols and sign language, like the SOS. They was like, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what to do about that. And the fact that they have been quite silent since then. First off, when they made that, the member had to come out and apologize. First off, let's rewind it back. It wasn't just one member. It was 3 different members on 3 different occasions within a span of a month. So this is different days of the week. This is different occasions, live stages, and video footage of when they're filming behind the scenes for music videos, on live stream while talking to their fans on Weverse. So that's 3 different occasions, 3 different settings, 3 different members. And you're telling me that this was oh my God, I'm sorry. I was so flustered. Oh, I was so sleep deprived, guys. I don't know what I was doing. I'm so sorry. First off, that didn't help you to say that you was that tired, that you was that sleep deprived, that you fumbled and symboled SOS and didn't realize it. Are we serious? That's the excuse your company said us fans are gonna believe. Okay, I guess us fans are supposed to believe that you are so delirious, can't think straight. Like, we're not supposed to be alarmed by that. That you just symbol, oh, SOS, oh, it's nothing, guys. Yeah, I'm totally not signaling for help. Yeah, I totally don't need help. It's not like I'm completely out of my mind right now and don't realize I'm doing this. Like, come on now. And you're supposed to make, and that was supposed to make us not worry about you guys more. And then more importantly, shortly after that, that member was pulled back from the scenes and wasn't seen in the next live stream because of a health concern. Yeah. And the company still wants us to believe this story. And then after that, they have been completely MIA, silent, zilch, nothing for the last month. And we're supposed to be okay with that. Like, the company has completely said there is some rumors, so let's just pull you guys from the scenes altogether, because taking off one member wasn't enough. We just got to take everybody off the scene. I don't know what's going on with Fantasy Boys, but this ain't the fantasy. I think the company wants us to believe a fantasy, but we are seeing right through that. We are literally seeing them boys. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this group or not. I'm not too familiar with their music. I hardly know them. They seem like they're from an unknown company anyway, which usually when you're from, this is what I call them. When you come from a a less superior company, you're going to have a whole lot of mistreatments. And we know how groups get treated in companies that are top dog in the industry. So when we're looking at the underdogs of the industry, I'm sure they get it way worse. So I don't know what's going on over there, Fantasy Boys, but that kind of brings me back to Baby Monster and YG and how Rami has been seen visibly passing out, fainting. I mean, apparently she's been dealing with a health condition since debut, but still, I know a lot of members, surprisingly, a lot of idols perform with serious illnesses, actually. Illnesses you would never believe. But it's sad to see Rami go through this. And that just like brings me back to Fantasy Boys when I like see her fainting, having to like be fanned and be like carried out in a wheelchair and to be hospitalized. I'm just like, we are literally working these idols till death. And the companies don't care. The companies are going to say, keep making us money even from your deathbed. So that's what the hell is going over there in K-pop in South Korea. Y'all tell me how you feel. Do you prayers going up to South Korea? Because I don't know what y'all got going on over there. And I'm not trying to touch it with a 1,000-foot pole. So I'm going to see y'all from across the waters. How about that? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this very long, lengthy K-pop news recap. I'm sorry, I just had to go into it. I know that was a lot of things. That was 12 things that I had to talk about, and I probably threw in a 13th one in there that's probably not on this list. So I had a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, and it's quite negative. So with that being said, there was at least I sprinkled in a few positive things in there. So with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please leave your comments down below. Tell me how you feel. What is your comments and opinions? I know some of you guys are asking me to read on Lisa and Mingyu's relationship or friendship. I might read on it again. I'm not quite sure. I'll see if I can find anything. If I can't find any like recent news of them like hanging out or being spotted or seen together, then I'm not going to read on it. But I know they're good friends, and that's great. Great for that friendship. I'm not sure if you guys are trying to put Mingyu and Lisa in a relationship, but I might check it out. We'll see. I think that's all you guys want me to do a reading on. I'm not sure who else I could do a reading on. Maybe I could do a reading on BTS. I have been avoiding doing a reading on New Jeans. So I think I'm going to continue avoiding reading on New Jeans because the situation is a hot mess. Maybe I should do a reading on HYBE. All right, with that being said, enough of my theories and conversations. Leave your theories in who you would like me to read on the industry that is in a known relationship or has some evidence to warn that they could have been spotted, and some theories. We like to get theories and conspiracies over here. So with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. That would really mean to the channel, please and thank you. More importantly, give this video a thumbs up, but share this content with anybody that's into K-pop. And with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers! Literally, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I just listened to, it is currently 12:15 in the morning, midnight. I had just finished recording my K-pop recap, and thank God I get to end it on something more positive because Ice Spice just killed Gnarly. I rewinded her verse 3 times. At first, I was like, okay, They gave it the Ice Spice beat, you know, the do 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 do. I was like, okay, that's pretty Ice Spice. But then when she when she slipped up her flow, like when she switched up her flow, and then like the bass changed up too with it, I felt myself going like, oh, I was like, okay, I was like, get it Ice Spice. I was like, okay, it was good. It was good. It was good. Ice Spice was good. I might do a music recap on the American industry and talk a little bit more in depth about that there. However, I've extensively talked about how much I love Cat's Eye and Gnarly. This definitely made me stand Cat's Eye hard. And that collaboration with Ice Spice was just so yeah, and now I got a new version of Gnarly to listen to. Gnarly. All right. Now I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.